Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another reaction episode to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's right, my name is Matt. Hello. Finale, season 5. Welcome to the finale for season 5. We're in the middle of a bunch of shit happening, but okay, last time on Buffy, we had okay, just the previous 2 episodes, or 3, Tara got her brain eaten. She confirmed that Dawn was the key. Glory knows that Dawn is the key. We went on a road trip. Giles got impaled with a spear and almost died, but not really. They bunkered up on a gas station, but Glory ended up sneaking in the form of Ben, because Ben, I don't know what the fuck he was on. She took Dawn, and Buffy's brain just shut down. Like on emotionally speaking, she was just like, I'm fucking done. So she entered in like a catatonic state. And then the entirety of previous episode was spent with Glory kind of starting to have human thoughts and emotions, because she's starting to like weirdly merge with Ben. So she is kind of having this like philosophy questions and arguments alongside Dawn, while Dawn is a kidnapped child who's about to die, and she's just trying to entertain the philosophy questions that Glory's throwing at her, which was honestly kind of fun. And Buffy, more importantly, just spent the entire episode just literally just sitting there staring at nothing, because her brain is in like a mental loop of like, I killed Dawn, it's my fault, well, it's what I do, it's what I always do, and then just doing that over and over. And Willow had to step up, and again, I have to give kudos to Willow. Willow was incredible previous episode in the way that she came in, she directed everyone, she gave assignments and tasks to everyone, so everyone could start mobilizing and doing stuff, whatever we could, while Buffy's in the state that she was. And then she did a spell in order to get inside Buffy's mind, so then she could like link with Buffy in a way that didn't require like physically connecting or like through any senses. It's just like, I'm just gonna go direct to her mind and we can chat there, and I can also see what the problem is. So yeah, Willow managed to snap Buffy out of it, but that took the whole episode. And then the ending episode, well, Spike and Xander got a box with some documents or something from the creepy old guy that we saw a couple episodes ago when Dawn tried to bring Joyce back. They got some documents from that guy. They seemingly killed him, but we saw that he didn't die, so I don't know if, like, he surely will come back, but I'm not sure in what form. They got those documents, and by the time Buffy and Willow got there, Giles was just like, so the only way to close the portal would be to kill Dawn, by the way. Which is not immediately concerning because the portal isn't open yet, but I think it will be, and then it will become concerning. It's one of those like weird cliffhanger setups where it's like, they tell you this piece of information, and it's like, you'll have to kill Dawn, and it's like, well, we don't have to, we stop it before that happens. But I think that it will happen in the episode, and then I'll worry, but then they'll find a solution for it as the episode goes on. At least that's what I think, but I don't know, I could be wrong. There's just like, I don't know how to explain it. This entire season has this like this feeling of like, I don't know, man, I feel like we're all fucked. Like everything's about to go to shit. Like that's how I always feel watching episodes in this season. Like it's been that way ever since like, okay, ever since the like weird foreshadowing that we had in like Restless leading to something, and I was like, I don't know, is it like the end of the show or something? That, and also Faith in season 3. But they had that in Restless, and then they immediately like mentioned it again in like a referential manner in the Buffy versus Dracula episode 1. Then when we got Dawn, we got a reference to Little Miss Muffet like immediately as soon as we met Dawn, with one of those guys looking the first crazy guy that we saw on the street. So they're grabbing a bunch of shit that I've been keeping my eyes peeled for. And ever since then, I've had this like feeling of like uneasiness of like, okay, there's something I need to see where we're being led to the entire season. And this season has proven to kind of pay off in that sense, because Joyce died and the entire world was shaken. The existence of Dawn and dealing with Dawn is also something that completely changes everything. And we kind of accept Dawn as a new character that we care for now. Like I felt that way pretty much, not maybe not immediately, but very early on. I already just kind of embraced Dawn because I connect with Dawn more than I connect with Buffy. What I mean by that is that Dawn doesn't feel like a MacGuffin magical item, even though people treat her as such. The cast learn not to do that, and they don't. And I don't see her as such either. I see her as a character that's here to stay. And that means that I don't want her to go, right? But they could also just utilize that effectively by making me care and then take her away, but I kind of hope they don't. But like, this entire season has been about Buffy losing things and then feeling like shit about it and then just kind of rolling with the punches, right? It's like Buffy's mom is dying and she's dealing with that, and then Riley leaves, she's dealing with that, and then Joyce actually dies and she's dealing with that. She's also dealing with the realization that her sister isn't real, so she's dealing with that. And then she has to deal with the I am essentially filling in the role of a single mother. She's not, but she has to be the one to look up for down. Who else is going to do that? So she has all this pressure put on her, and she kind of gives up. And like we see that, and even previous episode she mentions that. And then whatever the fuck happened previous episode, she's just fucking gone. Like this season has been so rough on this poor like 20-year-old girl. Like she's too young to deal with the amount of shit that she's dealing with, and that is on top of all of the like demon slaying and shit. So just in a sense of like, how do I put this? Thematically, the feeling that this season evokes, I am wondering what is going to be the closer for the season, for a season that goes like this, you know? Okay, I think that's it for like the intro. I don't know what else I can say. I guess just a reminder that I'm gonna finish the season. This is the final episode, and then after I finish the season, I am gonna record the season 5 Buffy cast, which is gonna be like I don't know, several hours video where I just talk about everything that happened in season 5. I think first I'm gonna give like some quick thoughts about the whole thing. Then I'm gonna do like a per episode review, like a shorter version of that. Like that's what I've been doing the entire time, but it's gonna be a shorter version of like in hindsight, how do I feel about each episode individually? And then I'm gonna give some general thoughts about some more specific topics. That's usually how I do it, right? I'll talk about the entire season, thematically how it fits, and then I'm gonna go about like a specific characters and what we see in them, and how do I feel about them and all that stuff. And that usually takes a couple hours. And this one, season 5 feels chunky, so it's also gonna take, I don't know, 2-3 hours for sure. So I'm gonna record that, and then that is gonna come out after the season 5 finale. I am not entirely sure when is it gonna be coming out. I'll try to get it done as soon as possible after I finish the season, but there might be a little bit of a break, like 2 weeks or something like that. So you know. Yeah, and then we want to watch season 6. Like, of course. What are we doing here? Of course, I'm gonna continue with the show, and I'll also make an Angel cast where I talk about Angel season 2. Like, I know I haven't posted Angel season 2 in like the channel the entire season. Honestly, I don't feel like I have to, but I will talk about Angel just so you have my updated feelings on how I felt about that season. So I'll also do that, and that'll be up on YouTube. And this part is gonna go for more so the Patreon people. Leave me your comments about like how maybe I feel, questions and stuff about Buffy season 5 or the finale or whatever, right? Leave me comments like that, and I'll address them on the Buffy cast. When I record the Buffy cast, I'm gonna address people's comments. Like that's something I also do in those videos. I would say YouTube people, keep your eyes peeled for like my, I don't know, like my YouTube community tab where I may make a post, but like the reality is that you guys are going to be watching this 2 weeks later, and by that point maybe the Buffy cast will already be recorded. But still, I keep, just in case, keep your eyes peeled for my YouTube community tab. Maybe you'll go and watch it now and you'll see that there was a post from me for like a week ago where I asked questions and maybe you missed it. I'm sorry, maybe you should have said this in the previous episode, but I forgot. But yeah, I'm gonna make a community post where maybe you can leave me questions that I will respond about how I feel about season 5 and stuff. That's what I do every single one of these at the end of the season. So yeah, Patreon people, let me know right now in the comments. YouTube people, hopefully you got some questions then. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. Check just in case. And yeah, Patreon. Check out the Patreon. Look in the description below, pop up on screen. Support the channel. I cannot promise you what is going to be available on Patreon if you want to join right now. I can promise you that all full-length reactions for the entirety of the season will be there. So if you want to watch my full reaction in full length alongside the episode, you can do that. But I'm not sure if the Buffy cast will be done by the time you're watching this. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. I don't know. Check just in case. And yeah, Angel watch-alongs as well. That's all on Patreon. All right, let's begin. Buffy, Season 5, Episode 22. Let's go.
Previously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Why don't we start with, hi, I'm Buffy.
Xander.
Cordelia. Willow, right?
Mr. John.
Previously, in the entirety of Buffy up to this point, Season 1, Season 2, I saw the mummy girl. Okay. I got chills. like a vampire.
Hey, what's going on?
Get out of here, girl.
Have you ever heard the expression, biting off more than you can chew? How about the expression, vampire slayer?
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay.
Alright. Like, I'm questioning everything I'm watching right now. That intro really just...
Wow. Been a long while since I met one who didn't know me.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
It's what I do.
You're just a girl.
That's what I keep saying.
Okay. I see. Thematically what that intro was doing. But that recap really just threw me for a loop. I was like, what the fuck? You wouldn't do that unless this episode was like incredibly important for some reason. I did say I did say previous episode that like the way that things were being set up, it felt like this would be the end of the show.
Something going on out back?
Okay, so this is all happening in real time.
The ritual is.
Explain it again.
The energy would flow into that spot. The walls between the dimensions break down. Glory uses that time to get back into her own dimension.
But only for a little while, right? The walls come back, no more hell?
That's only if the energy is stopped.
When Dawn is dead.
Why blood?
Because it's always got to be blood. So it keeps you going. Makes you warm. Makes you other than dead. Calls it so blood.
Symbolically, blood is life.
Stop Lori before she can start the ritual.
Okay.
A couple of hours, right?
If my calculations are right. But Buffy.
We are not talking about this.
Yes, we bloody well are!
If Glory begins the ritual.
Come on. Say it. Tell me to kill my sister.
She's not your sister.
No, she's not. She's more than that. Dawn is a part of me.
We'll solve this. Don't have another coma, okay?
If the ritual starts, then every living creature in this and every other dimension imaginable will suffer unbearable torment and death, including Dawn.
And the last thing she'll see is me protecting her.
You'll fail. You'll die. We all will.
I love you all. But I'm sorry.
I like that scene.
In favor of stopping Glory before the ritual.
What about Ben? He could be killed, right? I mean, I know he's
Murder Ben.
but not like Dawn innocent.
Yeah, we're just suggesting murdering a guy. That's the point we're at.
Okay, but I'm still not hearing enough ideas.
Apart from your incredibly uninfectious enthusiasm, have you anything else to
The
contribute?
Dagon Sphere. We've got it in the basement. Oh! And Olaf, the troll god's enchanted hammer.
Nah, that thing's too heavy to...
No, Buffy can use it.
Good. Smart chicks are so hot.
You couldn't have figured that out in 10th grade?
Oh, these fucking two. I like that their relationship has progressed to the point where they can joke about that.
Me? I have to be there.
Yes, she's she's being pulled to go fulfill her minion duties or whatever. Can we use Tara to locate them? Probably. But like, I still don't know what Ben is doing. He might be good. I don't know. I don't know if he's double crossing us or her or who.
I'll do what I can to... What?
Change. Be her. I don't want to look at you. Be Glory.
Will you just stop?
Shouting already? What do you got against old Benji?
He betrayed me.
He's a monster.
He's probably the reason your sis and her little cartoon pals are still alive. It's gotta be Ben. Funny thing, you've been here for a few hours now and I haven't seen Big Sis galloping in to save you.
She's not afraid of you.
No, sweetie baby.
She's
The faster
putting
you die, the better for your sorry species.
she's putting in the idea that you're just letting her die.
I'm guessing she isn't gonna show. And if she does, it might not be to save you.
Buffy.
I do like how much Dawn believes in Buffy. That means that Buffy has been doing a great job this entire season of just reassuring her that she has a place.
I imagine you hate me right now. I love Dawn, but I've sworn to protect this sorry world, and sometimes that means saying and doing what other people can't.
You try and hurt her and you know I'll stop you. This is how many apocalypses for us now?
Well, 6 at least.
I was gonna say, it's like 6.
Feels like 100.
I've always stopped them.
Yes.
I I sacrificed Angel to save the world. I loved him so much, but I knew I was right. I don't have that anymore. I don't know how to live in this world if these are the choices. I don't see the point. I just wish my mom was here. Spirit guide told me death is my gift. Guess that means the Slayer really is just a killer after all.
I think you're wrong about that.
Doesn't matter. If Dawn dies, I'm done with it. I'm quitting.
I almost feel like, again, I said this, death is your gift is like, if you die, you're free from this suffering. Because all of this is suffering. Stargazer by Rainbow starts playing.
Have you found the Dragon Sphere?
I'm sure it's here.
Oh my...
Yeah, we're on it. Let's look over here.
The world's about to end, and these two are like, okay, let's get one last one right in.
So, are you more relaxed?
I had the pleasure moment, but that only lasted a couple of seconds, and now I'm terrified again.
Robo Buffy! We can use Robo Buffy.
Why didn't they just melt it down into scrap?
I hope we use her. Somehow. We can trick Glory with Robo Buffy.
Don't frighten me like that!
What
Is
is
this
it?
supposed to be some sort of sick joke? I mean, things aren't bad enough. It's a higher power trying to tell me through bunnies that we're all gonna die. Oh, God.
No, it's not.
It might be.
Usually when there's an apocalypse, I skedaddle.
Yeah, it happened last
I love
time.
you so much that instead I have inappropriately timed sex and try to think of ways to fight a god. I'm just on total overload, and I honestly don't think that I could be more nervous than I am right now.
You care to wager on that?
This is the well, if we're gonna die maybe in like 2 hours, then I guess this is the moment.
Anya, you want to marry me? Can I take that as a maybe?
You're proposing to me because we're gonna die. And
This is like a crazy death flag.
I think I'm gonna live a long and silly life
I'm really worried.
doing that without you around.
This is really cute and all. This only makes me worry for them, or one of them specifically.
no,
No.
after. Give it to me when the world doesn't end. Did I mention I'm not good under pressure?
Willow, you did incredible previous episode. You can do it.
Last few days, I've mostly been looking into ways to help Tara. I know that shouldn't be my priority.
Of course it should.
That's good.
If I can get close enough, I may be able to reverse what Glory did.
Uh-huh.
Take back what she took from Tara.
Okay.
Might weaken Glory, or make her less coherent.
Okay.
Might make all our heads explode.
That's a risk I'm willing to take. If it brings Tara back, I'm willing. If the apocalypse happens but Tara's okay, I'll take it.
It won't be long.
Bitch! I was supposed to work on the factors.
Do you really want to make me hurt?
I'm gonna bring you back. No, that's good. That could be pivotal.
They're gonna use Robo Buffy.
Don't be swinging that thing near me.
Hey, I happen to be.
A glorified bricklayer?
Spike, shut your mouth. Come with me.
Okay. I think we're gonna use Robo Buffy as like a decoy or something. I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5 again, and in that game you can throw a decoy of yourself and trick people. They get distracted with that, and then you come in from the back. It's great.
Come in, Spike.
Yay.
Presto. No barrier.
Couple of good axes should hold off Glory's mates. When you take on the lady herself.
We're not all gonna make it.
Hey, I always knew I'd go down fighting.
I'm counting on you to protect her.
Till the end of the world, even if that happens to be tonight. I know you never loved me. I know that I'm a monster, but you treat me like a man. And that's... Get your stuff, I'll be here.
That was like the biggest moment of honesty from this guy. And it was actually very impactful. The fact that he said, but you treat me like a man, as if no one else does that. But it's true, no one ever has done that. Even when he was alive, everyone treated him like a joke. And then everyone treated him like a vampire or a monster. They praised him for being a vampire or a monster. I never thought of it that way.
Tara, baby, is there somewhere you should be? It's the big day, right?
Take us.
You're a killer.
It's all set down.
I'm worried about what that means, if it means something.
Remember, the ritual starts. We all die, and I'll kill anyone who comes near dawn.
Well, not exactly the St. Crispin's Day speech, was it?
We happy few.
We band of buggers.
I like this group that has formed in the end of the world. Spike and Giles just kind of bonding a little bit. The way Buffy said, like, not all of us are gonna make it, like, really makes me worry. People that could die. Anya, number one. Maybe Tara. Maybe Giles. Maybe Dawn. Maybe Buffy. That's where I'm at.
Will, you're up.
Need anything?
Could use a little courage.
Real kind.
Tara sneaks in.
You. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
She's with me.
Did it work?
What the frickin' hell did that bitch do to me? She made a home. Big day. I got places to be. Big day. Need a brain. Suppose I could always use yours.
Come and get it.
Okay. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for Robo Buffy. I'm hoping Robo Buffy comes in as a trick.
I notice you're talking, whereas in your position, I would attack me.
Go guard the girl.
It's strange. You're not as flurry with speed as usual either.
She's incomplete.
Not her.
It's your human. Oh, it's the Dragon Field. Yeah.
I heard it's supposed to repel you. You probably shouldn't touch it either.
Why would you toss it at her? She's gonna. Yeah. I would just keep it with me.
Stand fast! This will be our day of glory!
Well punned.
Well, just call that to me.
All right, let's go. Anya has a baseball bat. I like this. We're sieging the tower. Can she see that it's chaos has broken down there? Punching bricks.
Tara.
How are you, Tara? You okay?
Tara? Willow?
We're good?
I got so lost. I found
Okay, I'm happy. The show can end now. Before things get worse. Credits roll.
I'm feeling a little better.
You're about.
It was Robo Buffy. It was fucking Robo Buffy. I fucking knew it!
Did everybody else know the Slayer was a robot?
Okay, she hit him with a hammer. It, like, barely stopped her for, like, 5 seconds. We know how fast she can be. Why would that be enough? Okay. Oh, God. The fact that they're fighting in a tower, anyone could fall off at any second. I want to say anyone, I mean Buffy. Nice kick. This fight climbing scene is pretty good. Ooh. Still down here.
You lost your hammer, sweet cheeks. What are you gonna hit me with now?
Sander, he's a construction worker. Yeah.
Glorified bricklayer picks up a spare.
Ah, never underestimate a construction worker.
There's only a few minutes left to start the ritual.
So this is a survival fight, which is... Oh my fucking God!
Please, help me. She's coming.
Oh, this fucker. I knew this fucker would come back. I didn't know in one way, but
Someone's up there.
yeah.
Get up there. Go now.
Yeah, but
Go.
Okay, Willow's gonna lightning bolt them or something. Go witches! Lesbians part away like Moses! Go Spike! This guy's not just a minion.
let's you and me have a go.
Just a mortal. Couldn't understand my pain.
Bitch, you wanna know about pain?
Can't kill me.
You don't come near the gold, Doc. Why do you even care?
I made a promise to a lady.
I'll send the lady your regrets.
He failed. You can kill him right now.
I'm sorry.
Can you move?
Are you gonna kill him?
She could have killed me.
No, she couldn't. She's a hero, you see. She's not like us.
Us killers. We dwell in the dark.
Shallow cuts. This should be interesting.
Oh, the blood is flowing. It's opening.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Buffy, it started.
Okay. Alright, that's bad. Whoa. Oh boy. Alright. Well, this sucks. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I have to jump. The energy.
It'll kill you.
Buffy, I know about the ritual.
Yeah.
I have to stop it.
No.
I have to. Look at what's happening.
It is her choice.
You have to let me go. No, you have to let me. It has to have the blood.
Because it's always got to be blood.
Summer's blood. It's just like mine. She's me. The monks made her out of me.
If she's gonna kill herself, Buffy's gonna sacrifice herself. And I guess this would work.
No.
She realized it
Honey,
too.
I have to. Listen to me. Please, there's not a lot of time. Listen.
I like that I don't know what she's saying. We can infer, but... Right. This really feels like the end of the show.
Don, listen to me. Listen.
Now we hear it.
I love you. I will always love you. This is the work that I have to do.
It worked. And it's done.
Tell Giles I figured it out.
But
And
that is your gift means.
I'm okay. And give my love to my friends. You have to take care of them now. You have to take care of each other. You have to be strong. Dawn, the hardest thing in this world is to live in it. Be brave. Live. For me.
I don't even know what to say. She saved the world a lot. Beloved sister, devoted friend. That was the end of the episode. I'm gonna sit here. I'm still gonna sit here and look at the credits because like I feel like I need more in my life. I'm processing right now. I'm sitting here and I'm okay. Okay. So something I did ask while I was watching the intro to the episode, like at the beginning, and I asked I asked to the patrons, but I guess now I can ask towards the audience because I didn't know if the episode would end that way, but it did. Was this made with the intention of it being like maybe the possible ending of the show? Because it feels that way. I felt that way like 3 episodes ago, that's where we were heading. And every episode just kept feeling that way. And before I watched this episode, it felt that way. Like I don't know why. Well, because of the prophecy. But I just kept feeling like like Buffy's gonna sacrifice herself and that will be the end of the show. But then it's like there's 2 more seasons. We also don't think we got an answer to whatever 730 means. Maybe that's the time where sun rises. So maybe that's dawn. But like, I really need to know if this episode, if it was made with the, you know, it wasn't known that there would be another season and then they were greenlit for it. And then they were like, all right, let's keep doing Buffy. And then we'll just pull some shit out of our asses because I know there's 2 more seasons. But like, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I want to go. where my thoughts are I want to diverge them to. I have a lot of energy that is going all sorts of different places and none of them are constructive. It's just shock. Okay. I'm upset I can't swear in like YouTube titles because I would title this episode Buffy fucking dies. That's the episode. It already happened once. That's also more so why I was receptive towards Buffy dying again, because it already happened once. Her body stayed behind them. That is some okay. No, before we start throwing random shit at the wall, let's actually talk about the episode itself. So, we stop Glory. Giles kills Ben. Giles continues to be a fucking badass. Spike has some really good moments and he tries his absolute hardest and he fails. And I love how when he got kicked out of the tower, he looked at her and he was like, no. And it's like, that's the kind of reaction you get when you're about to die. But he wasn't like he knew that he would survive the fall. But he was no, because he failed in his mission to protect Dawn. That's how much it mattered to him. Annie and Sander got engaged. Tara's back. Good things. Hey, hello. I can keep watching the show now. The main character is dead, but Tara's not, so hey, you know, you win some, you lose some. And at the very end, this creepy guy, Doc, he comes in and he bleeds Dawn, which completely fucks with us. Fucks with the whole plan. And we have the at the end, it just turns into we won the fight. Glory's no more. We solve the problem in the way we always solve it. We just beat the bad guy. But the apocalypse is still happening. And the only way it's gonna be stopped is with a sacrifice, with a blood sacrifice. Again, I still wonder why is it blood specific. But I guess the key still like bleeds in a way, in like a supernatural way. Doesn't matter, because the puzzle that Buffy puts together, and it's something I like vaguely thought about, but I didn't put much thought into it because I was just like, I don't know, they could whatever. The puzzle that Buffy puts together is we have the same blood. She was made from me, therefore I am a suitable replacement. I will also stop it. I don't think I would have arrived at that conclusion myself. I mean, I would think about it and then I would dismiss it and I would say, I don't think that would work. Buffy didn't care. She just did it anyway. And maybe that is more of a testament of Buffy's love for her sister. And also, maybe she just wants to rest at this point. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Today we're talking about death. We've talked about death for like maybe 15 episodes in a row. Let's talk about it one more time here with Buffy. Because what I did mention when we got the prophecy of death is your gift is the way I would interpret it based on everything that has happened in the season and continues to happen is death is not a gift in the sense that you give it to other people. You are the death dealer. No, death is your gift in the sense that when you die, finally you are at peace. And that is what it ended up being. I feel like I was in sync with the season and what the season was doing, because I was able to immediately jump there, and that's where the season wanted me to be. What is the line that Buffy says right at the ending? Give my love to my friends. You have to take care of them now. You have to take care of each other. You have to be strong. The hardest thing in this world is to live in it. Yeah, that's so fucking good. That's so good. I really like that. I really, really like that. Again, like, the entire season comes together here. And okay, I will say this. There would be a different way in which you can see this, and you can see Buffy as just maybe like killing herself. No so much to save the world, but so like she can rest now. And that is something I barely mentioned just now, like a couple minutes ago. But I don't think that that's it. I don't know. It's like Buffy ascended to like a status of a bodhisattva at the very end. Like a complete creature, a complete being that is at peace with everything. It's like she has endured like 200 times what a normal human being would endure at that age. She has endured with so much fucking bullshit. And at the very end of it, she's like completely okay with it. And it doesn't seem like she's sacrificing herself because she just wants to go. It sounds like she's sacrificing herself because she's like, life was fucking crazy, but it is also something where like, I want other people to have that. And I want Dawn to have that. I want my friends to have that. And she's imparting her like final teaching at the end of like, life is fucking crazy. And it is pain. And it is hurt. And it is loss. And it is grief and sadness and despair and every single synonym you can come up with. And at the end, she's like, the teaching she imparts is, you have to look out for one another. You have to take care of each other. Take care of my friends and you all look out for one another. Because it's so hard to just simply be in this world. However, we can make it easier if we can shoulder the burden with one another. And that is the final lesson that she gives. And then she just jumps into the portal. And like, ultimately, like, it's not, okay, the whole season is not just about life sucks. It's about life sucks and we endure, specifically because we have one another. Like, now that I can look at it with hindsight, in retrospect, that makes a lot of sense. Everyone was there for Buffy when Joyce, first she went through her surgery, and then when she died, everyone was there for her. Everyone was there for Dawn as well. Everyone kept being for Dawn. Like, the entire gang is just there for Dawn, being part of the family. Like, when Riley left, Sander is the one that went and actually like knocked some sense into Buffy, into like, she can understand better what Riley meant or where he was coming from, so that she can ground herself, anchor a little bit, and understand and meet kind of halfway into whatever the fuck Riley was so on about when that happened. And that is because Sander went and actively decided to help Buffy with that. Like I know people might have had some issues with that scene, but I actually thought it was great because it was a scene of like your friend like seeing what is happening from like a third person objective sense, and it's like looking at you and being like, listen, man, like, I understand that you're angry, but also there's like these instances where like you could have done things better and you're not seeing that. And that's where that guy was coming from. And it's like, you know what? I think you're right. I didn't realize that before, but now that you pointed out to me, now I'm realizing it. Like, I'm not like, this is like an objective third party grounding you down so you can like, I will say this. I understand the support that a friend can give you of like, yeah, fuck that guy, you know? But I think I prefer whenever a friend is real with you and is just telling you straight, like, this thing you did, dog, wasn't the greatest. You could have done it a little differently. And then you go like, yeah, okay. Because like, that's how you change, right? Like, people present something to you and you change and you grow and you get better. So I like that scene for that reason. Everyone was there when Joyce died. Everyone was going through it, and everyone was there for Buffy. Giles is such an amazing like stepdad figure. Buffy did such an amazing job with like Dawn and helping Dawn because like, again, Dawn is also a character through which like you tell this story of like existing is suffering, right? Because like Dawn, whenever she was a kid, she didn't suffer. Now that she's a human and she's a little girl, she is a younger sister, and she's dealing with like school and like the people at school and an older sister, and feeling inferior, feeling not real, feeling like you're being lied to, you're not enough. Like, there's so many feelings that you have, and it's like, yeah, all of that is suffering. But then Buffy steps out and helps her out. Joyce steps out and helps her out. Like, everyone is there for one another. Everyone is helping you go through the hardships of everyday life. This entire season has been nothing but hardship, and everyone just coming together as a result of that in order to make it more bearable. At the end, like, the apocalypse is coming, like everyone's gonna die or something, and Sander and Anya just start banging. And it's like, it's kind of silly, but at the same time, like, they bang and then they like engage with one another. And it's like, it is kind of cute because it is this thing of like, I promise you that this is what I want for the rest of my life. I promise you that like us being together, and not just us, but like everything that has been happening this season, everything that we've got going on, this might be as good as it gets, in the sense that yes, we face with hardships and we almost die like every week. However, we have one another, and so many other people in the world do not have that support, do not have those friends that are there for you, do not have. I just realized the tower that Tara pulled out, it was literally a tower. It was actually a tower. We saw it here in the final episode. It is a tower. It is a literal tower. Okay, so anyway, we have our friends. We have lovers, we have people that are there for you, that are that are there with you, that are making your life actually good and enjoyable, and something that you're happy to be in it. It's not just suffering and pain, it is actually the joy of having those around you. And yes, suffering and pain, it is an intrinsic part of it, and it will happen. It has happened. This entire season has been about suffering, pain, and loss. However, every single time they came through. Previous episode, Buffy is at the lowest point she's ever had. Previous episode, she was fucking gone mentally. She's just completely given up. And she had a friend that literally jumped inside of her mind and just slapped her and went, "Bitch, what are you doing? We need to go." And knocked some sense into her. And just pull her out of that state. Just like, hey, like, that's not what you're saying. Is not true. It's not real. We can still do this. And just did save Dawn, because if Buffy hadn't moved, then everything that happened in this episode wouldn't have happened, right? It's crazy how the final 3 episodes happen within, like, I don't know, like a 6-hour span or something like that. It all happens in the same night. I really enjoy that. But like, Willow is the one that like helped Buffy whenever no one was there for her. Spike, everything that Spike is doing is actually, he's being extremely loyal and extremely good. He is a little bit of a loose cannon, especially in previous episodes, but like for the final, I don't know how many episodes, he's just been the coolest guy. He's just like, everything I do for my queen kind of shit. And like, there's a lot of things we can say about Spike, but like, he ended up being like one of the best friends we could have, in the sense of like, this guy cares so much for you and for the things that are around you, right? And he kind of went through, like, I think Spike is a character that, like, I don't know about other people, but me personally, I feel like I didn't think about Spike as a character that could go in much of a journey, or that, like, okay, that is actually kind of a lie, because he has gone through, like, a pathetic man journey. But I thought that would be kind of the end step. And it wasn't, because I'm realizing, and I realized this like 1 or 2 episodes ago, that Spike has changed extremely ever since Buffy just kind of gave him that like one kiss, and acknowledgement, more importantly. The acknowledgement, like the things of like, I will not forget what you did for me. Like that was, again, like you said in this episode, sorry, we're going into Spike talk here, but like you said in this episode, it was a fantastic moment to me. And it's like, I know you'll never love me. I know I'm a monster or whatever, but you don't treat me like one. You treat me like I'm just some guy. And that hit me, because I didn't think about it that way, but that's true. Because, well, Buffy kept saying like that. That's crazy, because I'm now thinking about like what it must have felt for him, because the reason why he liked her and likes her is because, well, I guess liked because she's dead now. By the way, what I'm not like, I want to make it clear, I'm not mourning Buffy dying, because there's 2 more seasons and the show is called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So Buffy will return. I don't know in what form, what way, how, but Buffy will return. She has already died once. Given the way she died before, was much easier to bring her back. This time, it feels like she's fucking dead. And I think that she is. I think that maybe they thought the show would be over here. They were like, all right, this is the end of the show. And then maybe, I don't know what company like televised Buffy, maybe like Fox or something. They were like, hey, can you make more of them Buffys? And then Joss Whedon was like, how much are you paying me? And it's like, I don't know, like $4 quadrillion. And she was like, yeah, all right, I'll make more Buffy. And then he just sits down into his desk. He grabs a piece of paper and he's like, Buffy punch out of her grave. Like the final shot of this episode, and then that's gonna be how the first episode of the next season starts. Is the same shot of like zooming into the grave, and then you see the hand rise up like fucking Carrie, and then credits start, and then I don't know, Buffy's a zombie, and then we watch Buffy the Zombie Vampire Slayer, not Zombie Vampire Slayer, but Buffy the Zombie, Vampire Slayer. That's next season. But yeah, that's why I'm not mourning Buffy, because now I'm thinking about, this is funny, I remember thinking about, even in like season 1, I'm pretty sure I mentioned, because I remember saying this maybe even multiple times, that like the show is called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, therefore there is only one rule that the show has to adhere to, that it has to follow, which is Buffy has to be here and be the main character. That's like the only thing the show kind of does. unless they do like a JoJo and then they bring another new character whose name is Buffy, or like the nickname is Buffy or something like that. But in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, Buffy is the main character and the show follows Buffy, and that's the show. Okay, so that is the only thing the show can do. So I remember saying the only thing the show can't do is kill Buffy, which is funny because in season 1 she just died immediately, but then she didn't. When I say that the only thing the show can do is kill Buffy, it is in the sense of Buffy is gone and never comes back. If Buffy, really, the show can kill Buffy, but then they just have to figure out a way in which she can keep going, even though she's dead, which is what they did in season 1. And now I'm thinking they're going to do it here for season 6 and 7. But and that is like the only reason I'm not really mourning Buffy here. And that is I don't know, that is just being cursed with knowledge, you know? Like, that is me just, like, it sucks that I know that there's 7 seasons. But like, I had to know that beforehand. Like, wherever you look, the show is going to, like, you look it up and it just says Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a show that ran for like 7 seasons or whatever. And it's like, okay, you have a number. You have a number that you see how much the show is going to go for. So that means that this episode doesn't really have the impact that maybe it had. I can't fucking imagine what it must have been like. If you have a personal story, let me know. Watching this happen live in your TV screen and not knowing anything about the future, it's just like, yeah, Buffy fucking dies. And you just go like, what do I do with my life, right? Like, and she dies in a pretty, I don't want to say definitive because I don't think it's definitive, but like in a final way, in like a way of like, you know, she didn't just like die like she died against the Master in season 1, where it's just like, oh, she died and then she came back like 5 minutes later. Like, it didn't feel like a flaccid death. It felt like an impactful death of like, I die because I finally understand what life is about. I reached the end of my journey. I understand the mystery, all the breadcrumbs that were laid out for me. I understand it all, and I choose to sacrifice myself so I can give my sister the chance at a normal life. And I will also, on my way out, will tell all of my friends to look out for one another because life is suffering. But in having one another, we may endure. Goodbye, everyone. And it's just such a like final ending. It's such a like perfect ending of like, yeah, that's it. Like, that's how Fox, you know, Buffy is fucking dead. This is her goodbye. She looks into the camera and says, goodbye, everyone, and just jumps into the portal. Like, it's so final. But like, it feels meaningful and impactful, and it ties nicely to everything that has been happening in the season. It's such a good ending, which is why I'm like baffled that there's more seasons. I will, but I almost don't want to keep watching the show. Right? Like, this is one of those moments where like, if the next 2 seasons were to be bad, you could tell someone like, yeah, don't bother with season 6 and 7. Just pretend that season 5 is the final one. I think that you could maybe say that to someone, right? Like, if the next seasons are good, then sure, people should keep watching. And in fact, you should just keep watching the show, honestly. Like, why would you stop? You know, commit. But I think that if you wanted to pretend that this was the end, it could be done. That is the kind of ending that you get here. It could be done and it would be somewhat satisfactory. Maybe it happens a little quickly, a bunch of shit. Maybe it would be nice to have an extra episode of like, you know, closure. But I think that the episode actually works, in what it's doing here. And I'm actually like shocked that there's more. Okay, what else should I talk about? Fuck. Like, I'm getting heated here because there's just too much emotion happening. What else do I even talk like? I do like that Glory and Ben or whatever, they didn't matter. I like that. I really, really like that because that's how I felt the entire fucking season. And when I say like they didn't matter, because like they fucking didn't. Like, they didn't. Buffy just like slapped him around. That was it. And then Giles came in and just killed him. That's it. That's everything that happened in this episode. The fucking creepy duck guy, he's the one that bled Dawn and then he got yeeted off. And it's like, well, he didn't matter much either, maybe. But like, the thing that mattered the most is... and there's actually like a discussion I had with my editor the other day. Less of a discussion and me just going on a rant. Because like, if you want to get an insight as to what it's like being my friend, if you posit me a question or like something that sets me off, I will destroy our chat window with this like lengthy thing I have to say. And then you go like, yeah, sure. And that is what is having a conversation like with me. But it was this thing of like, my editor was like, I'm thinking about all these things of like, what, I don't remember what it was, but it was like a discussion about like Glory. And it's like, after Glory is defeated, like, where does the show go from here? Like, she's a god. And I'm just sitting here like, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like, it doesn't. Like, to me, it doesn't. Because the show is not about Glory. It's not about like the god or the apocalypse or whatever. They even make a reference to it in this episode. It's like, how many apocalypses has this been? And it's like, I don't know, like 6 or something. And I'm like, yeah, that's about the number. It's like, it's been several apocalypses. One of the apocalypses happened in a joke episode. It was the Seppo. I remember the Seppo. That episode fucking ruled. But it's like, yeah, like the apocalypse, the stakes of the fight that we have to fight don't really matter other than what they make our characters do. That sounds like a little bit esoteric, but let me make it more clear here. I'm never worried about the world ending. I am never worried about winning or losing a fight or who is stronger, who is like, I'm not treating it like fucking Dragon Ball Z, where it's just like, okay, this character, like, which one's stronger? So they're gonna punch each other until one wins. And it's like, oh, this guy went to a power up, Buffy went Super Saiyan like at the end of season 4, and it's like, oh, she's gonna be stronger. It's like, that doesn't really matter. It also didn't matter in season 4. Like, she became a Super Saiyan through the power of friendship or whatever and defeated Adam. That didn't matter. That fight didn't matter. What mattered was Restless. What mattered was the fucking mind trip that we all went through in Restless that happened as a result of the power. The power itself and the fight doesn't fucking matter. What mattered was, how do all these characters feel? How do they perceive themselves to be? What is their journey? And what is maybe foreshadowing of what's to come, And that's how I feel also about the season. The season feels about Buffy suffering, about loss, about like sadness, about grief, about fitting in the world and what is this crazy hectic life that keeps torturing me and everyone around me. What the fuck are we doing? That's kind of what the season felt like. I never felt, and I don't know if this is a criticism of the season or not. I don't think it is, actually, because okay, if in the final episode Glory had been more important or relevant in any way, I would have felt that maybe this thing that I'm about to say is a criticism. But they didn't do that, so I don't think it's a criticism. I think it's just a choice. And I never felt like Glory fucking mattered in this season. And I don't think that she did. And when I say that, I mean that, yeah, she's strong and threatening or whatever, but really the entire season was about Buffy losing Joyce and losing Dawn's trust and losing Riley and losing Dawn at the end. It's like, well, previous episode, she lost Dawn and she went into this like deep depression. And it's like, it's about all of these things that are happening to Buffy and Buffy just feeling this intense grief and like life is pain and suffering. And it's like, that's what the entire season was about. And the pain and suffering is not a result of Glory punching you in the face. That doesn't mean shit. What hurts is everything else around it. So I think it's actually awesome that in this episode, Buffy really just slaps Glory around a couple times. And then she's just on the floor dying as Ben. And then Giles shows up and it's like, all right, I'm going to kill you. And then kills them. And that's it. That's it. That's the end of Glory. Big bad down, whatever. Like, we had a cool like fighting climbing sequence that was kind of nice. We had this like cool hammer, but like at the end of the day, like many Buffy fights, a fight happens and I'm just looking at it like, brackets, fight happens and nothing really occurs during the fight. We just get to see a fight and then at the end Buffy's winning and then Glory is down on the floor and it's like, well, I lost. And then Giles comes in and kills them. But like Glory didn't really do anything. And like, and again, I don't think that this is a criticism. I think this is just a choice that they made for the main villain in the season. And it's that I don't think the main villain in the season, Glory, is really a character I give a shit about. I don't, because to me, I am not watching the show for like the thrill of like, how are we gonna defeat this like really strong villain that we have this time, the way that like shonen anime works a lot of the time, which is like, the next villain that comes in, it's like even stronger than the last, and it's like, how are you gonna defeat that one? And it's like, that's not why I'm watching the show. Buffy the Vampire Slayer to me is a show about life. That's what it always has been. I've been saying this for like, I don't know how many seasons at this point, but it became very apparent after I watched like 1.5 seasons that like Buffy is a show about like something happens that is a mirror or of a real struggle that you encounter in day-to-day life as a teenager, as a young adult, etc., that is being presented to you through like a supernatural lens. And then Buffy deals with it in a way that she overcomes the issue at hand, whatever trouble she was facing, by beating the shit out of it, or like beating the shit of the supernatural avatar of it. Like, she literally punches concepts that are meant to represent some kind of day-to-day life struggle. And then at the end of the episode, it's just like we're all talking about it and looking into the camera and being like, yeah, that trouble, I learned my lesson. And then credits roll. And that's the entirety of Buffy the show. Season 5 feels like it's grabbing that and it's actually extending it a little further, which is essentially not just looking into the camera and seeing like, I learned my lesson, or like, you know, this is what this was about, but just essentially showing us all the characters just experiencing this extreme like grief and loss, mostly Buffy, really, just this torture of Buffy the entire season, but that did have a purpose. It's like we got that closure of like that like lesson, not at the end of every episode, but at the end of the season. In that way, the season followed like a normal standard, like episodic Buffy structure of like, you know, thing happens that it happens in your day-to-day life, then you have to punch like a supernatural monster version of that concept that represents it, and then at the end you are okay with that concept that you had a trouble with at the beginning. It's like that happened for the season, but it's about grief and loss throughout the entirety of the season, and then at the end Buffy comes to the realization of like, you know what, at least we all have one another. Whenever I was at my lowest points, my friends were there for me. Please look out after them and allow them to look out after you as well, because the hardest thing in this world is to live in it. It's fucking suffering and pain, but hey, you have one another, so go for that. I really like that is fucking incredible to me. I really like this season. I understand why people praise this season a lot, and it's fun because like I feel like maybe a lot of people praise this season because of the shock value of like Buffy fucking dies at the end. I don't really like that. Is not as impactful for me as it is just the way that everything works here, and like the message and meaning that it has is so good. I like it a lot. The way that we see all the characters here portrayed. I do have to say though, I fucking called it. Whenever Tara got her brain sucked, I was very upset. But one of the things that I said immediately is that I couldn't believe that essentially they just like killed off like the best character in the show. They didn't kill her in like a sense, but they killed her character, literally her character. They murdered her brain. So that character was gone. And I thought that it was fucking crazy. I couldn't believe that they did that. And then the episode just kind of kept going. And I was like, that felt so off to me. It felt so off place that one of my things that I said immediately is like, I think we're gonna help Tara. We're gonna save her somehow, right? Like that's what I was thinking. I was like, we're gonna somehow bring Tara back, because like it doesn't make sense to me that they did that to Tara and then they didn't spend any time mourning. It was just like, yeah, it happened, jokes, whatever, moving on. And I'm just like, fuck you. There's no fucking way you're doing that to Tara. That's not the way you treat this fucking character. And if you are, I'm upset. That's how I felt. She's back. Everything's good now. Actually, I did mention in this episode, like, if the apocalypse happens but Tara is okay, I'll take it. I'll be fine with that. The apocalypse didn't happen. Just Buffy that died. And I'm okay with that because Tara's okay. Sorry. I am afraid sometimes that whenever I like say something like that, because I hope you all understand that these are partially jokes, partially true, but that's just because I'm not that invested as some other people are. But some other people might be more invested than me, and they might take it like a personal offense that I say things like that, you know, like, hey, Buffy's dead, but like, hey, it's fine because Tara's okay. It's like I'm doing a disservice towards Buffy Summers, the character. It's like, well, Buffy Summers is not a real person, so that's why I don't really feel bad saying shit like that, because, and that's also a joke, right? I don't mean to diminish or belittle in any way the love that you, the person who's listening to this, might have for Buffy Summers, the character. I think that that's awesome, actually. I just don't have that personally, but I am not going to come at you for doing that. I think that's really cool. Because, like, I in an ideal world, I would be personally deeply invested into every single one of these characters, but I am not. I am invested into the characters that I am invested in. And I think that most people get invested into like specific characters instead of everyone. And the people that can get invested into everyone, hell yeah, man. Like, I'm happy for you because you're allowed to be tortured and have all your emotions tortured in the way that the show sees fit. Because I can see how, like, I'm thinking about, like, imagine watching this episode when you're like, I don't know, fucking 13. Like, I'm picturing like a young girl watching this episode when you're like 13, and you've been following Buffy's adventures from before you had much consciousness, right? Because we're in season 5. So it's like, let's say you've been watching the show since you were like 8 or whatever. And it's like, you didn't fully understand what was happening. There's a lot of things that went over your head. You were like, I don't know what the fuck Sandra and Anya were doing just now. I don't know why Anya's putting her clothes back on. I don't know what Sandra meant when he said arrived. But hey, I understand certain things. And I can see how maybe you watched this episode when you were like 13 after going through that entire journey, and you would be wrecked. You would be fucking destroyed. You could be fucking mortified for the rest of your life. Like, and that, I can understand that because like that happened to me when I watched fucking Goku live forever at the end of Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT kind of sucks, but that ending, like, I'm not kidding. If I go and watch that ending again, I will cry. And it's something that doesn't really make much sense for me because I'm like, I'm almost 30. I'm watching this happen and it's like, it makes no sense for me to feel this emotional, but it just happens. And it's this like thing that is just ingrained deep in me from when I was like 8 years old or whatever. I can understand that maybe some people watch this episode at a very impressionable age after going through Buffy's journey for years now. And then you're like, oh my fucking God, like it would just destroy you. This would be like the loss of a loved one. Like, it would absolutely feel that way. So I actually do want to hear. I'm actually going to be reading the comments on this episode. I don't know if that's a wise thing to do, but I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to read the comments on this episode because I already finished the season. As long as you don't spoil next seasons, I'm going to read the comments on this one. And I do want to hear, hey, tell me your personal stories watching this episode. You know, like maybe you had something similar to what I just described. I would love to hear that. I love hearing from people being extremely invested in having these memories that they recall. Because I can joke around, about, Tara's okay, so I don't fucking care that Buffy's dead. But the reality is that I genuinely really like this. And I think it's amazing. And I wish I could have had that experience watching this, maybe if I was much younger and I had followed Buffy for years as it was airing. Like, maybe I could have that, and I wish I could have an experience similar to that. That would be awesome. But I didn't. Instead, I have something like this, which is, it's better than if I just binged it. Because if I had just binged the show, I would just arrive here and it would be like, oh, what the fuck? But because I've been watching the show for 2 years at this point. I don't know how long. Maybe 3. I don't know when the fuck I started watching. I posted the first Buffy video in February 27, 2022. It has several dislikes. I understand that I'm like the worst Buffy reactor on the platform. That's okay. But like, yeah, that was like over 3 years ago at this point. Almost 3 years, a little bit over. And I really like having this experience that I have because I took long enough to get to this point that by the time I finish the show, it's going to be like 5 years of watching it. Maybe a little under 5. I don't know. I haven't done the math, but like, it's gonna be long enough that it's gonna feel like an era of my life that finally comes to a close. And it's so interesting to do it from my perspective because like I have like a viewer perspective because I am a viewer of this show, but at the same time I have this like weird other extra layer of like me coming up with all these like topics to talk about and stuff that makes me actually like dig into these episodes on like a deeper level that I, like maybe other people don't do that. Maybe other people just watch it and experience it and they have all the emotions and then they just slowly watch this over. But instead I have to sit here and I go through all these things and I just ping pong and go through all sorts of different thoughts and mazes in my head. And I think that it makes me engage with the show in like a very different way that I think I did it before I started doing this, and also much different from what most people have had. So my experience with the show is bizarre because it feels very different, I think. because again, like I wasn't shocked when Buffy was like, I'm gonna kill myself, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, because I saw it coming. I said a previous episode, it felt like Buffy was gonna die, because when I heard what the guiding spirit said, I was like, death is your gift. I was like, death is your gift because you get to stop suffering, because life is suffering. That's kind of what it was. I didn't think that was the reason why Buffy did it, but that was part of it. It's like Buffy recognizes that living is suffering, and that's why death would be a gift, because it would finally be rest. It would be peace. But also because you get to save your sister, because you get to save your friends, and because you get to give them the opportunity to live in a good world. But like, I can see how so many people would watch this and they wouldn't get to that conclusion that I did. That is on me for like always doing this like hour-long digging through the episodes and what people say and what it might mean, and trying to look for meaning in things that maybe aren't there. And a lot of the times it's just me being fucking crazy, but a lot of the times it's actually paying off. And thinking this way, it really paid off, and it really made me feel. It made me feel so good watching this episode, because it felt like such a good ending to what the entire season has been. And for every character too. Like the closure we got with Spike, which is like him just being fully honest of like, I know you're never going to love me, but he's still doing this. He's still being such a good, loyal guy that now that he, like, Buffy treats him like just a normal guy that she trusts, and that's good enough for him. There's like a level of sadness to that, which is crazy to say about fucking Spike. But again, like I mentioned during, while I was watching the episode, I was like, I think that that's true. Spike was like, you treat me like a normal guy, and that's like enough. But I thought about it and I was like, I think that's true, because I don't think even William, when he was alive, was ever treated like just some guy. He was always just a laughingstock. And when he became a vampire, he was a monster, but he was praised for being a monster. And that became addicting to him and a part of his personality. But Buffy is now providing him with something else, which is, you are just some guy. Oh god, I just realized that there was something I wanted to say, and then I completely got distracted. But what I wanted to say much earlier, like maybe half an hour ago, was that it must be crazy for Spike to like deal with the situation where this girl is treating you like some guy and you didn't realize how much you wanted that your entire life. But then when you ask her about it, she says, no, fuck you, you're just a monster. But that's not the way she's treating him. And that is something I mentioned. I pointed that out because it's true. And it did come together when we had the Robo Buffy episode, where Buffy actually acknowledged that, you know, he can be actually really good. He's actually someone that gives a shit. And she thought he wasn't, but he is. And that means that she finally acknowledges that in him. And that was good enough for Spike. In that moment, Spike finally kind of got the closure he wanted, which is like, I wanted someone to just treat me like I'm just a guy, right? You know, like I'm not a mockery and I'm not a threat. I am just another guy. And, you know, just bare base average. I want people to just see me as such, because then I am afforded the same treatment and opportunities that any other person would. And in this episode, he just says that. He just flat out says that. And he's like, I'm okay with you not loving me. Like, I know that that's never going to happen. But the way that you treat me is something that I need. So I'm going to continue being here and doing everything that I can for you. Because like that's what he wants out of his life. He's happy so long as Buffy just treats him like another guy, like a friend that, you know, you can just hang out with. That's it. He never had that. And now he finally does. And like, he feels so complete, and it's like, this is what I wanted, you know? It's crazy the turnaround we've had with Spike here. It's fantastic. I fucking love this character. It's so good. Okay. Oh yeah, I was like wondering whether Ben was good or not, and maybe he was double crossing or whatever. And it's like, no, he was just a piece of shit, right? That's it. He was just a piece of shit, and he didn't matter in the same way that Glory didn't matter. We just killed her, and that was that. The real struggles of the season was not the main antagonist. Was not Ben and Glory. It was just the suffering that is life and learning to be okay with it. I really like a scene we had earlier. We had a couple really good Giles scenes at the beginning of the episode where he essentially was just like, Buffy, we need to talk about killing Dawn. And Buffy started just pushing back against him, just like, I'm not killing my sister. And if anyone gets close to her, I'm gonna kill you too. It's that level. But Giles wanted to keep a level head where he was like, I understand that, but also we're talking about the end of the universe here. Like, this is going to be the apocalypse, and if we have to sacrifice a person in order to stop it, we should. Because like, even if like he does say this thing that makes a lot of sense, which is like everyone is going to be living in a living hell, including Dawn. It's this thing of like, yeah, Dawn is going to be alive, but like, for what reason? Right? Like, what is she doing here? How is her life going to be? And like, I like that, you know, at the end, Dawn is also aware of that. Dawn is also like, I know how this works. Like, I am going to sacrifice myself. Dawn has arrived to the point where she's like, I see what's happening. I know what's happening, and I'm going to stop it. Like, Dawn, and this is such a good thing. Dawn is such a good character because like, we had so many instances throughout the season of Dawn feeling like she's not good enough, feeling like she's annoying and a bother, feeling like other people don't see her as real, struggling with feeling like she's real, like she matters, like anyone gives a shit about her. But it speaks to the fact that Buffy and everyone else did such a good job with Dawn this entire season that at the end here, when Dawn is being kidnapped and is at the tower, and even before she's at the tower, she's like screaming for Buffy. And that's because she trusts that they will come in to save her. That means that she trusts them. She has learned to trust them. Even though the entire season she's been feeling like maybe that's not the case, like maybe I'm not good enough or whatever, like she comes to a point where she's just like, now at the end, she's like, no, I trust them. They will come and save me. Please come and save me. And they do. But then that also means that at the end, whenever the portal opens, Dawn is also the one that goes like, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice myself and I'm gonna stop it. Dawn is ready to do that. And if Dawn was just selfish and didn't care about anyone but herself, she wouldn't do that. But the fact that she decides to do that is because she's doing it for the good of all of those around her. This means that Dawn not only trusts them, but also cares for them. We have done a good job in like embracing Dawn as one of a member of our family, of our community here. Everyone just treats Dawn as if she was just one of us. And Dawn appreciates that. And she likes them. She cares for them. And she's like, okay, if I am to die in order for you all to survive and have a good life, I'm going to do that. And it's also really interesting how then the roles become reversed. I didn't point it out, but I noticed the irony wasn't lost on me that Dawn is like, I'm gonna die so I can save you all. And then Buffy's like, no, I am gonna die so I can save you all. And like, both Buffy and Dawn were like, no, don't do that, whenever the other one was doing it. So it's fun inversion. But yeah, the older sister ended up jumping and taking the bullet for them. So yeah, I can't believe it's a literal tower. Like, I just realized it's actually the literal tower. That's so fucking funny. I think she literally replicated the tower. Oh my god. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen them. Probably you did in fandom. There's like fandom tarot cards that people make all the time of like, you know, the magician, the hangman, and it's just like a character in the story that kind of represents vaguely the card. You could make artwork of the tower tarot card and it's just that scene and it would look almost exactly like the tarot card in the actual card in the major arcana, because it's a tower and it's like people falling from the tower and there's like a lightning striking, and all of those things did happen in this episode. It's like a tower, Buff is jumping from the tower, and like lightning is shooting off as reality is breaking. It's like the exact same image. Okay, sure. I have to sit with this episode, y'all. I do, and it makes. It's good because like then I'm going to be talking about the season as a whole, which is kind of already what I did in this episode, but I'm going to be even broader when it comes to, you know, talking about the whole season in the Buffy cast. You know, it's going to be a couple hours long probably. I'm just going to go over every episode. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on the whole thing, which I already kind of did in this episode a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to sit with this one. I don't know what else to say about this episode. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Oh my god, like, I have to talk about the recap. Because it's funny because like when the episode, like when I was hitting play, I was thinking to myself like, we always do a recap, but like I don't know if like the streaming versions of this show have recaps. It's not the version I'm using. I don't know if they have recaps. And I was like, is a recap even needed? Because usually they just tell me about like, you know, what are the things that are going to matter in the episode, which like soft spoils it. But like I was wondering like, do they ever give you anything that matters? And then this recap started playing, and this recap is just all of Buffy in like 30 seconds. It's like Buffy season 1 from the very beginning. Giles says you are the Slayer. Into each generation, a Slayer is born. And then we get a bunch of clips from, I'm Sander, I'm Willow, I'm Cordelia, and then just a bunch of shit. And then it gets so fast and so many things happen. Which I actually kind of like whenever they had that conversation with Giles, where Buffy and Giles, they said like, how many apocalypses has it been now? It's like 6 or something. And then they say it feels like hundreds. And it's like, yeah, because they're essentially just looking at the audience and saying like, we've had so many episodes. Every episode feels like, yeah, the world is ending in one way or another. Maybe it's the world is literally ending, but it also might just be like, hey, we have to deal with some kind of emotional drama. And every time we have to deal with that, it feels like my world is ending. I like that. I really do. And that is like a subtle thing that to me looks like that's actually what they meant. This episode, again, felt very reminiscing on like this. Again, this episode felt like it was the end of the show. That's what it felt like to me. Oh my God. Oh, one thing I want to talk about that I forgot to mention because I went into a lot of things. Let's start with some crackpot theories. Buffy's gonna come back in some way next season. So in what way that is. And something I noticed is that Buffy's body is actually with them. She fell from the tower and she went into the portal, but Buffy's body arrived at the bottom of the tower and everyone is mourning over her dead body. So what I'm thinking immediately is like her soul got sucked in the portal or something. I don't know if did they say exactly what would happen in this episode. Let me listen to Giles talk again. The blood flows, the gates will open. The gates will close when it flows no more. That just says, yeah, Buffy's dead. But her body's still around. I guess it's just like her body stopped, all functions stopped. So her heart is not beating anymore. She's just dead. Yeah, I have no idea how Buffy could come back. I was thinking like her soul got left behind when she went through the portal, but her body could still move. But it's like, no, the body's completely stopped. But it's also some supernatural bullshit. They could just come up with any way to just again, she could be a zombie and it would technically fulfill the requirement. But I don't know how she would become a zombie. We could try resurrecting her, but we also did we specifically had an episode telling us how bad that would be to do that with Joyce, We shouldn't desecrate Buffy's body. So I don't know in which way Buffy will return. But she will, right? That's how I'm feeling. I really need to know. I really need to know if this show was expected or there was a fear or something of the show just not continuing after season 5. Because this feels pretty final. This feels like, okay, we're done, folks. Goodbye. The fact that there's 2 more to me is kind of crazy. Okay. The usage of Robo Buffy was impeccable. It was amazing. And I knew it would happen too. Because when Robo Buffy we had that episode and they didn't destroy her and they actually kind of kept her, I thought to myself she might come into play later. We're gonna have an extra ally. It's just another Buffy. She was actually very helpful. And then in this episode, they just show that she's sitting there, and I'm sitting here watching that, and I'm like, she's gonna come into play. She's gonna be important. And then it does. It's not very important, but she did come into play, and I really like that because, like I said during the reaction, I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 5 again, and in that game, there's a disc that you can throw, and it summons an inflatable decoy, life-size inflatable decoy of your character. And it's just Metal Gear Solid 5 is a stealth game. So you're supposed to infiltrate and trick people and do things out of sight. So you can actually toss that and then click the button and then an inflatable version of you pops up there. And then your enemy in the middle of the night, limited visibility, just sees a shape and it's oh, who's there? Meanwhile, you're walking behind them. It's it's so good. And I was thinking that you can have a life-size Robo Buffy decoy just come in and just take on the brunt of the fight, and then the real Buffy sneaks behind her and fucking knocks her head with a hammer. That is exactly what she did. It wasn't that great because that was the beginning of the fight. It would have been awesome if it happened at the ending, right? Robo Buffy fought Glory the whole way, and then it looks like Buffy lost the fight, and then Glory kills her, and it's oh, I got the Slayer, and then it's whoa, what the fuck? There's a bunch of wires and shit. Which is kind of what happened. She was oh, did everyone know that the Slayer was a robot? She didn't understand that part. And then Buffy comes in from the back. But I would have liked it if that was the end of the fight, right? That was the climax of the fight, not the beginning of it. But that's me. That's just my personal taste. I think that maybe people would have been upset that like the cool fight happened and that wasn't really Buffy, that was Robo Buffy. Honestly, that would have made it better for me. I want to see Robo Buffy thrive. I love Robo Buffy. Okay. I think that might be it. I don't know. Looking at this episode, I'm skimming through it and I don't know what else I can say about it. I'll think about what else to say about it. Like as I'm thinking about what to talk during the Buffy cast. And then I'll bring it up there. But also, once more, leave me comments. Patreon people especially, because you're gonna watch this like really soon. Leave me comments for how do I feel about the season or some specific episodes or something, some characters and stuff. Leave me those comments, leave me those questions so I can reply to them during the Buffy cast, because I always like reading and replying to questions during the Buffy cast. And I'm also gonna be leaving a YouTube community post where people leave me comments like that. Sorry, this is not an announcement because the Buffy cast might already be recorded by the time that this video comes out. I'm sorry, this video is getting a little bit delayed, but anyone on Patreon, feel free and please do leave me comments so I can reply to them. Okay, that's gonna be the end of the Buffy season 5, really. I can't wait to go back and watch whatever the fuck is happening in Angel season 2, because I've been watching Angel season 2, y'all, and like I watched episode 21 yesterday, and like, dog, some bullshit is happening in Angel. Like they went to an alien world and like Cordelia's a princess or what. It's fucking crazy. I don't know what's happening in Angel. Like Buffy here is having like the most epic, like amazing resolution to this like incredibly deep story. And then whatever the fuck is happening in Angel, it's just like, I don't fucking know, dude. It's just clown shoes over there. It's so bizarre. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that, I guess. Alright, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in for this reaction episode to Buffy. I'm gonna go jump off a tower and kill myself now. See you guys next time. Bye. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for watching this reaction episode to Buffy. If you would like to watch the Buffy cast whenever it comes out on Patreon, as well as full-length reactions to all of Buffy, season 5 and below, but also season 6 and 7 soon, check out the Patreon, link into the screen below, pop up on the screen, support the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye-bye, take care.